What's up, agents? Jetforth here, and today let's take a look at the old Pestilence, and should you either start grinding for it if you haven't gotten it, or should you dust it off out of the old stash? And my complete and utter honest answer with the overall experience that I had with this weapon is that if you are a die-hard solo player, you never matchmake, you never do anything, yeah, you're probably not going to want to use this weapon. Now, on the other hand, if you always play in a group and play on challenge and heroic missions, yeah, you are going to want to pull this out or try and farm for it if you haven't gotten it yet. The problem that I was having, since I procrastinated till the very end of the PTS while I was testing this out, is that I couldn't matchmake for the life of me, because either this game is just completely dead, or it was just the end of the PTS and nobody was playing it anymore, or maybe a combination of both. But the overall problem that I was having with it as a solo player is that once I brought the damage up to 21.6 thousand, like you see in some of the footage, is that I was melting the enemies too fast. I wasn't able to plague them, if you will. So now that's not necessarily a bad thing, but the main perk on the weapon is Plague of the Outcast. After hitting the same enemy 10 times, that enemy is infected with the Plague of the Outcast for 10 seconds. Whenever an enemy with the Plague of Outcast is killed, they leave a toxic cloud for 10 seconds that deals 12,000 weapon damage per second to anyone inside and infects them with Pestilence. So in that aspect, when your weapon damage is rather high on it, which is great that they finally brought it in line with the rest of the LMGs, but yeah, it's really hard to actually proc that talent. I rarely could get it to happen when my damage was up. Now, on the other hand, when I was first messing around with it because of my lack of brain cells and, you know, other stuff, me being a pleb, I totally forgot to respec my 15% into it through my specialization. And with the 4,000 less damage that I was doing, I could pretty much get the Plague of the Pestilence going whenever I wanted. And it was really good at door trapping enemies. I mean, you could see it just absolutely melts everything that touches that cloud. So that was pretty fun. Now, at points, it is kind of gimmicky, because what is the likelihood that you're always going to be able to door trap people? Here and there, I was able to melt other NPCs that would step into it, but honestly, the overall experience with it's pretty fun. It's got a fun factor to it when you can actually get it working properly. Now, on the opposite end of that, the other problem that I was having with the lower damage is that it was really hard to take down the big guys. I mean, you would put in 100 rounds, have to reload, and continue on from there to finish taking them out. So that did suck, honestly. Now, if you do play in a group on challenge and obviously in heroic, you will be able to proc it more often, just because the NPCs are going to be more tanky, obviously. That's why I say, as a solo player, yeah, you're probably not going to want to use it, but if you do play in groups, blah blah blah, yeah, you're going to want to dust it off. Now, as for the PvP experience side of it, I honestly couldn't tell you. Like I said, the servers were absolutely dead when I was trying to use it. There was nobody anywhere to use it on. I can see the whole Pestilence part of it. This debuff reduces healing received by 50% for 10 seconds. Whenever an enemy with Pestilence would be downed, they are instead instantly killed. The debuff is removed if the enemy is repaired to full armor. I could see that being rather useful in PvP. You know, if their healing is reduced by 50% for 10 seconds, that means they're trying to heal while you and or your group can still be laying into them. And if you mark them, they instantly die and go into a plume, as opposed to being able to be revived by their friends. I wish there was something else in there where, like, maybe it was a 5-second delay so their friends can try and res them, and then they die and go poof into thin air and just melt their friends down too, but that may be a little bit OP for PvP. Not saying, just saying. So, I mean, overall, I do like it now. Honestly, if you are going to grind for it and haven't gotten it yet, I would honestly do it now while PvP and the game is pretty dead. Because right now it'd be really easy to go in there and take over all the little checkpoints and go back and forth and probably really not have to deal with anybody, and eventually you will get it to drop. So that is my 2 cents on that. It does have a fun factor. Not going to be that great as a solo player unless you dip the damage down, but then you're going to have a problem with the more beefy enemies, the tank enemies mostly. But on the other hand, if you are in a group and are dealing with more tanky enemies, I think it'll be great. And even put this in a, say, a Patriots gear set build, and you're just going to be buffing and debuffing everything in your path, and the people you're playing with are going to get extra damage. I honestly think it would be a rather interesting build with this. But again, that would be in a group setting. So I don't know. That's all I got. I hope my little ramble here makes sense to you. I'm not really good at reviewing stuff for weapons. I'm that guy who can go into a level, solve the puzzle, and find everything right away. But I do play the crap out of this game, so hopefully this made sense. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you have it, if you tried it in the PTS, if you're excited to try it, or, you know, just let me know. I'm always interested. Hit the old like button for me if you could. That would be super awesome. Because, yeah, as everybody else is playing other games and stuff, everything is really dwindling down into a bit of nothingness. Whatever. I'm shutting up. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!